what we do is that we stick with the magic that we started with. So what makes Habitat work is that we look to the community to pull together whatever they can do. So be it donations of money or building materials or time or shopping at the store. And we take whatever people can do and provide families with the opportunity to own a home. What we try to do is approach everything as a partnership, as a relationship. So as we ask people in the community to do what they can do, so the donations of money and time and building materials, we offer an experience with that. So we offer an opportunity for the community to interact with each other and the others in a different way here on the build site. We offer them an opportunity to learn some new skills and a chance to meet the families. So it's that relationship, that approach to the community building that is very different with the way we do it.
There are 4 people that live here that are people who receive supports, and then there are the 2 students that live here. So there are 6 tenants living here. There are 2 2-bedroom apartments and then 2 single-bedroom apartments. Where the innovation comes in is not so much in the housing piece, because everybody's built housing. It's in so how do we provide that continuum of support and do it in a quality way? For example, family and friends, work, volunteering, leisure and play, and also your spiritual community provides supports to a certain extent. So what I would call natural or passive kinds of supports to an individual that exist. Now everybody has those things in their life, but when you live in a group home, the staff are there whether you need them or not, in all cases. So if you're out with your family, I don't get to say, okay staff, now you go home because you're not needed. They're there for the duration of their shift. But in a model like this that takes advantage of the person's support network more broadly, your staff tend to get plugged in only where they're needed. Okay, so if you're home for the weekend with mom and dad, I don't need coverage for you. Or if your skills are such that you don't need somebody there all the time, then I don't need paid supports. If your social issues are addressed through the people you live with, in other words, you're not living independently but isolated and lonely and all of those issues that come with social isolation, and for people who don't have broad social networks based on their limitations or their disability or life experience, whatever the case may be, this model addresses some of those issues as well. So when you combine all of those things together, what you find is that where the staff or staffing structure is actually needed is not as great as in where you just plug it in based on the assumption, well, they always need to be there. So that was the shift.
We'll consult with social outreach workers like Mosaic or Woolwich Community Services, and they'll say these are the needs that we have in this community for families. They help us to identify who's going to live in those, and then we design a house around those. So for example, in Wellesley, we've done rural housing where we say, okay, here's a 4-bedroom unit, but there's going to be a family of 8 moving into this, and what are they going to need in order to make this more than a house, an actual home where they can function and have a good nurturing environment. So in those cases, for example, what we did is we made sure that the entryway was not just a small entryway into a duplex, but actually a large, what I would call a mudroom, right? An area where the kids can come in. There's enough hooks for everyone to hang their coats, enough room for all the boots so that we're not tripping over everything. And we actually even put a sink for washing up hands outside of the washroom. So it's a little extra that you wouldn't normally build into a house, but we discovered that we needed that by asking the families what would they want in a house. and they fed that back to us, and we tried to incorporate that in so that we're giving them what they're going to need, not necessarily what we think they need.